Hello and welcome back. In this video, we are going to start our auth service server and then check that the database table is created. Okay. But before we do that, first you have to make sure that you have all your services running. Okay. So go check Docker and make sure you have all the services running: Elasticsearch, MySQL, Postgres, and the rest. And then the next thing, let's go to database.ts. Now, make sure you have this part. Okay, so if you don't have it, add this part: process.env.mysql_db with colon. Okay, so the SQLize, it expects the URI string, that is the database URI string, and then options. Okay, so make sure you have this. Okay, add this, and then let's go to .env file. Now in this .env, we need to add the URL. Okay, so here to add the URL, it uses this format: MySQL, which is the protocol, MySQL protocol, colon, // Now we need to add our database user name and the database password. Go to your Docker Compose. Now, MySQL user, this is what we need to use. I'll use this as my MySQL user, colon, whatever you use as your MySQL password. Remember, I told you that because it's just local development, using API is fine, as a very short password name is fine. But once we go to the cloud, we have to use a very secure password. Okay, so password right here. Okay, and then @ now, because we are developing locally, we can use localhost colon, what is the port? So the port is 3306, and then the database name is jobber_auth 3306 / then you add your database name. Okay, so this is the format that it uses: the MySQL protocol colon // database user name colon database password @ then the database endpoint right here. At this point is localhost colon 3306 then / the database name. Okay, so now we have this. Let's go ahead and run the application. So I have API service running, I have notification service running. Now I want to run my auth service, and I'm going to use npm run dev. Okay, so if everything connects, then we should see the information displayed in the console. Otherwise, we display error messages. Okay, now you can see the server is running, connected to Elasticsearch, and then connected to MySQL database. You can see it right here. So connected to MySQL database. Now let us see what we have in the MySQL database. I'm going to be using a tool. If you go to the browser, open a tab, you can search for tableplus. Okay, I'm going to be using this tool. You can use whatever tool you want, GUI or graphical user interface tool to view your database. You can install tableplus. Okay, so I think the free version is sufficient for what we want to do. Okay, for us, the free version is sufficient. I already have it installed. Okay, so you can use it to view relational databases and even some NoSQL databases like MongoDB. Okay, so you can use it to view Postgres, you can use it to view MySQL, Amazon Redshift, SQL Server, Redis. You can even use it with Redis. Okay, so install this tool because that is what I'm going to be using. For me, I already have it installed. Okay, so let's go ahead and set it up. So right here, well, once you open it, this is what you should see. And it says you are using the free version. I think the free version is sufficient for what we want to do. Okay, now we need to create a new connection. I think you can find it. Let's see. You can find it here. Okay, so click on it, and then, or you can click here. Okay, so it's either you click connection new, or you click on this plus sign. It says, okay, to create, right click to create a new connection. Okay, so click here. Now you can see we can use it with Postgres, we can use it with Amazon Redshift, MySQL, Redis. Okay, MongoDB. I think MongoDB is in beta, but right now we're interested in MySQL. So click that and then click create. Now it should open this right here. Now just give it a name. So give it whatever name that you can use to identify it. I'll call this Jobber MySQL local. Okay, so in case I have some other Jobber MySQL database that I connect to. I'll just know, okay, this one is for my local development. Now the host, since we are on our local environment, it will be 127.0.0.1. okay, but if you want to connect to a database in the cloud, you just use the database host name here, and then MySQL port is 3306. okay, and then the user, remember our database user. Okay, if you go to .env, this is the user, this is the password. So the user, I'll add it here, and then the password, I'll add it here, and then the database name, so copy the database name, paste the database name here. Okay, so add a name for identifying the host. Because we are on local host, use 127.0.0.1, and then set the port to 3306, your database user, your database password, your database name. Now we can test. Let's test if the connection. Okay, now if you see this green yeah, in the fields, in the input field, that means the connection was successful. Now you can connect. Okay, and right here, if we click, we don't really have a table displayed, but we're able to connect to the database. You can see the database is called jobber_auth. okay, but we don't have any table created at this point in time. Okay, so let me try to reload to see if it will create a table. Because I'm using NodeMon, if you want to reload, you can use type rs and then enter. Okay, let's see if anything happened. Okay, so probably it did not create any table. Maybe until when we start adding data, it will create the table and then add the first data. But at least we are able to connect to our database. Okay, so right now we are able to connect to our database, and I'm using the latest version of MySQL. Probably at this point in time, the MySQL version for you could be different. Okay, so at this, you can see now we are able to connect to our MySQL database.